Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast, the Drafted Up Podcast. That's Nick. I'm Theo. You know where to find us over on Twitter at DraftedUp_pod. More importantly, you can support the show over on Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Like, rate, subscribe, review, share, tell a friend. We appreciate all the support you guys give to us. And today, we're talking about the big game.
Can't say it. Oh, he said
59.
Oh, God.
Maybe. I don't know the number. It's Super Bowl 59.
It's 59. It's 59.
Yeah. Super Bowl LIX. Nicholas?
Mm-hmm.
How you doing, dude?
Ready for the game. Been ready. Watching a lot of tape. It's been a football heavy week, for sure. Put movies on the back burner a little bit. Haven't watched one in a little bit. A lot of tape. A lot of grind. A lot of players. A lot of names. A lot of colleges. A lot of all-star games. Oh, my God. What a busy week it's been.
Yeah. The grind doesn't quit, essentially. Yeah, college football season ended, national championship, and then a few days later, we're watching Senior Bowl practices, and we briefly touched on them last episode. They were great, fun stuff. I've always loved watching the Senior Bowl, even before I really dove into scouting. Senior Bowl practices have always been fun. Fell in love with Vonta Leach there. He fell into a bunch of bushes on a catch, and I'll always remember that in high school. So today, busy episode. We're going to talk about the Super Bowl. We're going to give you our predictions. We're going to give you our MVPs. We're going to spice it up a little. We're going to do a little draft. We're going to do a fantasy draft just off Super Bowl guys. We're going to draft a quarterback, a running back, a wide receiver, a tight end, and a flex. We'll see who drafted the better team on next episode. And speaking of next episode, we will touch base on the Super Bowl, go over that, recap that. But we're dropping our first mock draft, baby.
Woo, that's a big episode for us. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Which means, unfortunately, today is the final Spotlight Series segment. We're going to put that to rest because, we're officially fully in draft season. We'll be dropping our first mock draft next week. And then we're going to take a 2-week break. And then we'll be back with my favorite stuff, the Couch Scout segments.
Prospect rankings. Woo-hoo.
Yeah, good times ahead.
Oh, yeah, dude. What got us all started. Yeah. That's what we're getting back to now.
Yeah, we're almost at a full year on the pod. Time flies,
yes,
baby.
Sir.
So, before we dive into the Super Bowl, I want to give a shout out to one of our sponsors at Cafe Collazo. That's Collazo. They're just two content creators who love a cup of coffee. So, and then they support other content creators like ourselves, but they combine, the world of content creating and entertainment into coffee. And they're not just creating a coffee, just to create a coffee. They're passionate about it. The stuff's delicious. I've brought it up here multiple times. If you check out their site, cafecollazo.com, they got a medium, a dark, and a light roast going on. They're delicious. It's top quality. They're beans. You grind them up yourself. And that's the good stuff. And like I said, they support artists and creators who love their morning coffee, just like them, just like me. So go out there, support our friends over at Cafe Collazo. Of course, use the code DRAFTEDUP for a nice 10% discount at checkout. You'll be supporting a local crew. They're right here in Philadelphia, and you'll be supporting the podcast. We always appreciate it. That's Cafe Collazo, Collazo. Drafted up for a 10% discount at checkout.
Coming in nice and early with those ad breaks.
I figured it would be better to do it that way, because then we'll do Super Bowl. We'll do the next ad read before we do Spotlight.
We don't got to talk about ad. I knew why you were reading it. You're good, dog.
Yeah, well, usually I do it after a segment, but mixing it up here.
Yeah, no, you're good.
We're going to keep you guys on your toes. All right, the big game. The Kansas City Chiefs, the Philadelphia Eagles, this Sunday from New Orleans. The Kansas City Chiefs are favored 1.5 points, over under of 48.5. So
makes sense for them to be favored.
Yeah, but to me, Philadelphia has been playing better in the playoffs than the Chiefs have. So I just think it's more. If we were giving the Eagles -1.5, I just think all the bettors would just be like, why am I betting against Patrick Mahomes? And they're going to put all their money on the Chiefs, and
exactly.
they got a good shot at winning. So having the Chiefs being favored, they've been there, the third year in a row, 5 of the last 7. They beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl already. Yeah. So despite recent trends, whereas like I said, I think Philly's been playing better football. You'd think they'd be favored, but not so fast, my friend. We got the Chiefs favored as always in their home here.
It's so hard
the Super Bowl
to bet against Mahomes and the Chiefs and Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo and that defense. It hasn't worked out throughout the season betting on the Chiefs. They've literally lost technically 2 games, but really their starters lost 1 game. Week 18, Carson Wentz played and then no one else played. It was bad. But the Eagles are playing good, but until the Chiefs are beaten in the biggest game of them all, I think they should just be favored from here on out. They're just they play too close. They play Chiefs football better than anyone plays anyone else brand football. The Chiefs just have it down. They have everyone's number, it seems. We'll get to our predictions in a little bit, but 1.5 seems like a pretty good spread to me. I think it's gonna be really close.
Yeah. I don't think this game is going to be more than 4 points separating the two teams in my eyes. It should be a good one on paper. Maybe the 2 most consistent teams in the NFL this year, and they meet again. This is a rematch of a few years ago where the Chiefs did beat the Eagles off that ticky-tacky holding call, but it was a penalty in my eyes. So I understand why they called the hold. I believe it was on Juju from Darius Slay or James Bradbury. I don't remember which one of them.
In real game speed, it looked like a penalty. I get why. If you slow it down, of course, it doesn't look like a penalty. 90% of holds, if you slow it down, don't look like a penalty. That's not how the ref is viewing it. The ref is viewing it, obviously, in real game speed. And in that speed, it looks like a penalty. So I get it. It's a really hard call on the biggest stage of them all, and they just want to get it right. It's a lot of pressure. Me sticking up for the refs.
Did you get the alert this afternoon?
Yes.
About like the refs are like it's egregious that you
upset.
think they're furious that you think they favor the Chiefs in a situation like this. I just thought that was kind of funny that they had to put that out there. I've never heard the refs have to put that out there before. Now they're putting it out there. That to me makes it look more fishy. That you got to say something.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, and I don't see a problem with them just owning up to the fact that bad calls happen. Just own up to it. Everyone knows mistakes are made. It's an accident. It is what it is. To deny it just comes out. It just comes off wrong. Just own up to it. It's all good.
All right. So for Kansas City to win this game, what do the Chiefs got to do?
They got to do exactly what they've been doing. No, I wasn't even gonna. That's not even that. They just have to continue doing what they've been doing, which is Chiefs ball. Make sure this game is within 1 possession with 5 to 8 minutes left, and then it's the Chiefs game. In order for the Chiefs to like really lose this game, it's more so about what the Eagles have to do than what the Chiefs have to do. The Chiefs just need to continue doing what they're doing, and they will be fine.
Yeah.
The Eagles,
from the Chiefs side,
that's where...
For me, defense, make Jalen Hurts beat you. You know, don't lose the game because Saquon Barkley, it just blew you up. You know, do your best to contain him. Don't solely put all your focus on him, but make sure that you don't let Jalen Hurts beat you through the air. And if you can control that, I like their chances.
Barkley's going to get his.
Yeah. But make it be that Jalen Hurts is the guy who wins the game for the other team.
Yeah, and you have to watch Hurts on like the runs. You don't want to get him out onto the left. He's pretty good, I'm pretty sure, on the left. He's good on the left side, bad on the right side, I believe. So it's going to be Chris Jones getting the pressure. He always does. But the Eagles line, dude, it's probably the best line of football, if not top 3. It's going to be a great battle from like every positional standpoint. Like Mahomes going up against this defense, Hurts and Barkley going up against the front 7 of Kansas City, dude. There's battles all over the place on this field. Yeah.
And then offensively, control the clock, because the Eagles can score, drop of a hat. But Kansas City, if they can milk it, keep the ball out of the Eagles' hands the best they can, take the time off, really, precise drives and just meticulous. Classic Andy Reid ball.
It's going to be hard for the Chiefs running backs to really wear the clock down with how good Jalen Carter and the Eagles defense is this year. But I do think Mahomes, on the biggest stage of them all, he's really good at picking up first downs with his legs. And that's you got to stop that if you're going to be Philly. You can't let Mahomes get these short 6 to 8 yard runs, getting new set of downs. You got to stop that. If it's 3rd and 6, you got to keep eyes on Mahomes because he's going to pick it up on the ground.
Yep, and that's what Philadelphia's got to do to win. They got to control the Chiefs' offense. Yep. You pressure Patrick Mahomes. Look what the Bucs did when Tom Brady and crew beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and it was just constant pressure on Pat Mahomes. And the Eagles' edge rushers haven't exactly produced this year. It's been a little underwhelming, but Jalen Carter's been an absolute menace. So if he can disrupt from the middle, maybe it helps open up some edge rushing there, and then maybe we see some corner scheme blitz. Maybe we get Coop DeJean or Quinyon. Though that's not more Quinyon's thing. Coop's more the pass rusher if you're going to blitz one of the corners there.
Yeah, he'll be coming off the side. So, even C.J. Gardner-Johnson, he blitzes a lot.
Yeah, try to just create that pressure somehow, like Steve Spagnuolo does so well. On the other side is mix up your pressures. Don't be so reliant on the same sort of scheme there, and just show them different views. And don't always show them the best plays you got, and
save them.
That's how it's gonna. It's like Spagnuolo against the Bills was showing that play, but never brought the pressure. And then when it mattered, he brought that corner blitz, and it completely disrupted Josh Allen.
Yeah, threw everything off. And if you're looking at just like coordinators in this game, you got Spags from Kansas City, who's capable of doing anything. And then you got Vic Fangio on Philly, who's capable of doing anything.
Yeah.
Kellen Moore, who's going to be a head coach. Yeah, Kellen Moore on the other side, who's going to be a head coach in 2 weeks for New Orleans. And then you got Andy Reid calling the plays for Kansas City. It's just 4 amazing coaches with great elite talent spread around on both sides of the field. This Super Bowl, on paper's amazing. Like, it's flawless. I don't understand. I get why people didn't. No, because Andy Reid's calling the plays. He's their offensive coordinator.
Former head coach, Matt Nagy.
People were shitting on this Super Bowl, like, since it happened, or even before. I personally love it. On paper, it's the 2 most talented teams in football.
It's more of we've seen it.
I get it. But then these teams need to step up and stop them. Buffalo had their opportunity to not have Kansas City in this game, and it just didn't happen. The better coached team won that game, and that's what's going to happen with Kansas City. Yep. It's so hard to stop Kansas City, dude. Especially twice in 1 year. Like, Buffalo already got them once. So in order for them to beat Kansas City twice in a year, come on, dude. That's just asking too much of someone.
All right. Prediction. What you got? Yeah. You got a score, too? I got a score lined up.
I do.
Okay.
Philadelphia 27, Kansas City 24.
Whoa. Okay. How about this? 27-23 is my score. Kansas City over Philadelphia. The Chiefs pull off the 3-peat.
I really do think Kansas City is going to win. But for me to sit here and not pick the Eagles on the end of this run where I'm, as a Giants fan, have backed Philadelphia since the offseason, I just think I have to sit here and I have to pick Philly. I trust both teams. At the end of the day, I think they're both the best AFC team and the best NFC team by far. I want to see Mahomes get the 3-peat. I love Mahomes. I love Andy Reid. I love Hopkins. I want Hopkins to get a ring. But man, I want Barkley and Philly to get this one done, dude. Get this one for Barkley. Get it for Hurts. Get it for the city of Philly, dude.
Fuck the city of Philadelphia. They're trash.
You stop it. Yeah. Stop it. Go Birds, baby.
I like more Philadelphia teams than you do, so I could shit on
I know. Yeah. What the heck? Yeah. What the heck, man?
I love the Phillies. The Sixers are just existing. They're the bane of my existence.
The Sixers break my heart every day as the one Philadelphia team I actually like.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about the Sixers on the Hoop It Up podcast.
Yeah, nah.
We're not. That's not a thing. Yeah.
We'll talk about the Luka trade for 8 hours straight and then be like, you know what? We should probably just not record on basketball.
Basketball's stupid. All right. So, before we do our little draft lineups here, Super Bowl MVP. betting odds
want one from
wise,
each
Patrick
team?
Mahomes. Yeah, we'll do one for each. Patrick Mahomes is the betting odds favorite overall at plus 120, with Saquon Barkley at plus 260 and Jalen Hurts at plus 350 to follow. And then it becomes long shot territory. Travis Kelce at plus 1,500, Xavier Worthy at 2,800, AJ Brown at 3,500. So if the Chiefs win, it's Patrick Mahomes. I'm not gonna pick against the best quarterback in the league.
100%.
And I mean, shoot, if the Chiefs win this Super Bowl, he might be the second best quarterback of all time behind Tom Brady at that point.
No argument out of me, dog. He's like one of the few guys that I seen it in college, him in Texas Tech. I seen it there. We talked about it well before, obviously, we did the podcast.
He's Brett Favre with a brain.
Exactly. Like the plays, he's such a gunslinger, but he makes every play the right way. So he's like he's like the perfect combination of quarterbacks, and he's flawless in the biggest moments, and he doesn't make mistakes when it counts.
If
Kansas City wins,
if you had to pick somebody that wasn't, if it wasn't Patrick Mahomes,
I hope it's Hopkins.
Okay, I would say it's Chris Jones. I think if Mahomes doesn't win MVP,
easily, yeah.
I'm just
going like who I want it to be.
That game was low scoring, and Chris Jones was just an absolute disruptor for the defense.
For sure. If it is low scoring, though, that's where the opportunity of like a Kelce gets it or a Hopkins. Because if the Chiefs only have 2 offensive touchdowns and the same receiver has them, there's a good chance that receiver is going to bump Mahomes out of the MVP run.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's likely Worthy gets 2 touchdowns. I think there's a better chance Kelce or even Hopkins. I really hope they use Hopkins a bunch, dude. This is like the moment he's been waiting for on a Super Bowl stage.
Non-existent for the most of the year.
I know,
Kansas City.
And it's breaking my heart, dude. You've seen like some games, like 2 or 3, he shined, but
he's got the same betting odds to an MVP as Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, he's right under the Goddard down there on the list on ESPN bets. He's above Pacheco on ESPN bets.
Philadelphia, I think it's the same case. If Philadelphia wins this game, Saquon Barkley's the MVP. He tops off this amazing playoff run he's had on top of the amazing season he's had. Mm-hmm. And since he won't win actual MVP, he can get a Super Bowl MVP, which better off in the end with that.
I think there's a way better path for the Eagles to win and it not be Barkley than the Chiefs win and it not be Mahomes.
Agree.
Because I think there's a chance. I think that the chance the Chiefs obviously know that Barkley's going to get his, but if we don't let him get 150 and 2, we can really win this game. So Barkley only has like 115 yards and a touchdown, but then let's say like Hurts has 2 on the ground and 1 through the air, 250 yards through the air. 60, 70 yards on the ground because he's going to be picking up yards on the ground because that's what happens in the Super Bowl with mobile quarterbacks. I think there's a chance it hurts. But then I really think like Brown or Smith has a sneaky option on just one of them breaking off 2 touchdowns. That's what it comes down to. Again, because if it's low scoring and Hurts hits Brown for 2 50-yard touchdowns and Brown finishes with 6 catches, 120 yards, and 2 touchdowns, that's Super Bowl MVP in a low-scoring game.
Yeah.
So I really think there's a world where it could be a good amount of Eagles, but Chiefs, it's really down to like 2 guys.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's draft it up.
Let's get it.
You want to pick first? Or you want me to go first?
Are we snaking it?
Nah, we'll just go back and forth. You can pick. You pick first. You pick first. You predicted the Super Bowl. Spot on.
Okay.
So I'll give you the first pick. And
I'm taking the obvious one.
Yeah. I'll let you have your flowers here. All right.
Thank you.
So
now I'm done with running back. So
yeah. So I could theoretically push that off, but we do have a flex spot, so I don't want to give you the full narrative where you then take the Chiefs running back and then I'm stuck figuring something out there. But I'm not going to go with Kansas City's running back. I'm going to pick who I think is going to be the best wide receiver in this game. I'm going to pick Xavier Worthy. He's been the best wide receiver throughout the playoffs here. So I'm going to take a little risk, and I'm going to go with Worthy.
I like it. I'm just going to take Kelsey just on the spread of Kelsey to Goddard. That terrifies me. I really don't think Goddard's going to be in play too much.
I'm so glad you went Kelsey because I think Dallas Goedert is in line. He's been great throughout the playoffs.
Words Fenard has never said in his life. He's excited for Dallas Goedert.
Yeah, I'm not in on him. All right, I'm gonna take my flex guy. And I'm gonna take AJ Brown.
I like it a lot. I was hoping to get Brown on the swing. I think one of the Eagles receivers is gonna be in line for a pretty big game, and you can't really pick Smith at this point, so I'm gonna hold off on him.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm just gonna take the shot at quarterback, and which one do I want? Give me Mahomes. I think there's a better chance Mahomes has a better outcome than Jalen Hurts. But I'm a big Hurts guy. He got me pretty far in a lot of playoffs this year. Even on a week he got a concussion. My teams were able to carry me through. Unfortunately, he and then shit the bed again. But
yeah,
Hurts is the guy. I love him.
I'll go fill out my tight end spot. I'll take Dallas Goedert on that small chance that you just snipe him and put him in your flex, and then I gotta
put him at my flex,
and then I gotta throw Noah Gray into my lineup or chicken cacciatore.
Really screw you over. So now I'm up again. Give me Smith in my receiver spot.
Yep.
I think he's a chance he breaks one for a touchdown. Better than the Chiefs receivers.
Yep. Lock me in with Jalen Hurts. Got the Hurts Goddard stack.
I like it. So I'm gonna flex it out here with flex. Leaving on the board, we got Hunt, we got Hollywood, Hopkins, Pacheco, Juju.
If we did two wide receivers, Juju was one of my sneaky pickups.
I agree. That's why I didn't bring him up at all during the thing before, because I was hoping to snag him here.
He's been playing a ton throughout the playoffs. I don't know how much he does here against Philadelphia's defense.
I'm gonna pick Juju. I don't want Hollywood. I just don't trust Hollywood.
I'm surprised you're not just picking Hopkins because that's your dude. You could have sniped me. You could have taken Kareem Hunt, and I could have really screwed myself over.
I don't trust Kansas City's running backs. Give me Hopkins though. I'll take my guy.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
I didn't know which Kansas City to running back. I wanted to go Hunt, but I really think during the Super Bowl they're going to lean more on Pacheco. Time. Exactly.
Yeah. Kenny Gainwell plays a lot for a backup running back, especially when it's Saquon Barkley. So you wouldn't think he's in there a ton. But no, I was gonna talk myself into Pacheco, but I'm gonna take Kareem Hunt. I think they're just gonna ride him out for the end of the year, and this might be it for him because
I think
he's getting older.
If one of them gets a touchdown, it's gonna be Hunt. I think that's the better, safer pick. I guess P. Ryan a little bit older, but he's looked great this year for what he was like. The opportunity that was given off the street. I'm really impressed with Kareem Hunt. I think he's going to be playing football next year.
Yeah,
I think he's back next year. Not with even if it's not with them, I think a team will pick up Kareem Hunt at this point.
Yeah, P. Ryan was a consideration as well, just pass catching wise, and they use him when it matters. He had the big first down to seal the game against Buffalo, and it's tough to run on Philly, so it might be a case where they got to pass to the running backs. So that's where P. Ryan comes in, but I'll just take the guy who's going to be on the field in Kareem Hunt. So my Team Theo lining up Jalen Hurts at quarterback, Kareem Hunt at running back, Xavier Worthy at wide receiver, Dallas Goedert at tight end, and AJ Brown at the flex. So I got two stacks here with Jalen Hurts, with Goddard and AJB.
Yes, sir. And then I got Mahomes at quarterback, Barkley at running back, Devonta Smith at receiver, Travis Kelce at tight end, Hopkins at flex. So I also have the two stacks with Mahomes.
Yeah. We'll see how this plays out. We'll give you the results there on Monday, or not Monday.
Next pod,
whenever we record next.
Prospect time, baby boy.
Yeah, we're cruising through here. Yeah. So before we dive into our final prospect spotlight on the podcast for a little bit, Let's shout out our friends over at W Energy. W Energy, like I've said, they pride themselves on full ingredient disclosure. No sugars, no calories, no artificial dyes, no fillers. They got a mobile app. Search W, that's DUBBY, over on your Google Play Store or your Apple App Store. Or you can go to their website, www.w.gg. I'm currently drinking some Dub Sludge. It's a caramel apple type John. Technically, it's Granny Smith apple with a mystery sauce. So that's good stuff. I also ordered their new flavor. They got some collabs with some anime stuff going on. It's like Blue Tropical Punch, so I'm pretty jazzed for that one. That's WDUBBY. Be better, get that dub with W Energy. Use the code DRAFTEDUP at checkout for a nice 10% discount on your order. All right, so Prospect Spotlight Series time. Kind of sad.
End of an era.
This is our last one.
Yeah.
For a little bit, yeah. The beginning. This is a little newer, but these will be our last two. We're each going to give you two today, because we got some time to fill.
Mhm.
So, and then maybe we'll keep this going over the summer. We'll kind of do a summer spotlight where we'll just
Guys, next
here
year.
and there if we're looking for filler time. Yeah, because it is a good idea, and then we'll be more in depth like we were in this during the season, and kind of do a guys come like halfway through the NFL season like we did this year.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
You want to start or you want me to start?
I'll go first.
All right, who you got today?
Big Senior Bowl guy, probably the guy that's risen the most, arguably. It's Gray Zabel, 6'6", 305, offensive lineman from North Dakota State. 2024, played 961 snaps at left tackle. 2023, played 686 snaps at right tackle, 211 at left guard. 2022, played 4 out of the 5 offensive line positions. 52 career games, no injuries. He's allowed 4 sacks in the last 3 years. So this guy can literally play 5 out of the 5 offensive line positions. He is a freak when it comes to rotation. He's a plug-and-play start immediately day one NFL. His Senior Bowl was awesome, dude. Like through and through from day 1 practice, day 2 practice, day 3 practice, and the game, the dude was a dog. He's got crazy powerful base. He's quick to get under guys' pads, even though he's 6'6". That's super rare for how fast he can get his leverage underneath people for being a taller guy. He can plug and play at any offensive line position, which is a huge advantage when it comes to making the final 53. He's really special when it comes to the inside spot, the 2 guards and center. That's where he's going to make his bread and butter in the NFL.
Short arms.
Yeah, he's a lot like Graham Barton, who went first round, pick 26, and Cody Munch, who went second round, pick 48, who's also from North Dakota State. And these guys can play.
Both also happen to be drafted by the Bucks.
Yes, they do both play for the Bucks.
Gray Zabel, you're a Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
He's that kind of guy, but I think that's his range, anywhere from like 25 to 40. He could get a back end of the first round guy, and go to a really good team and make an impact day one, right off the bat, in camp, rookie camp. He's a dog. He's able to stop and stun rushers with a heavy hand, dude. He's extremely talented in the run game, dude. Like, I love watching this guy pull, make blocks, open up run lanes. He's a quick twitch, lateral movement with loose hips. I love him out there on the dance floor, dude. He's a guy that I think is going to be making 10, 12 years in the NFL, and he's just going to be a staple in any type of offensive line. And like I said, if you get him in the back end of the first, he's going to a playoff team, and he's going to make an impact right off the bat. Minnesota, Houston, teams like that where they need to, for sure, solidify the offensive line, especially from center to guard. He's gonna go there day one, and he's gonna be a guy that we're gonna be hearing a lot in Pro Bowl, hopefully all pro caliber kind of guard. And if need be, he can kick it out and make it a tackle. He's not gonna be an everyday kind of tackle, but if you need a plug and play start for one game at tackle, he can do it, dude. So yeah, Gray Zabel, Senior Bowl stuff. His stock rise, dude. He was a third round, back in the second round kind of guy. That's not gonna happen at this point anymore. He's a dog.
Yeah. Yeah, he was incredible at the Senior Bowl. He just came right into put me at guard, put me at center. I don't care.
Put me wherever you want.
And he balled out, especially against great interior and edge rushers as well. And like you said, in a pinch, you could put this guy at tackle,
Yep.
injuries, whatnot, sort of like Kansas City's doing now with Joe Tunney.
Exactly.
He's not a tackle by trait, but
No.
you need somebody to step up, and
No, he's an all
he's done that.
He's an all-pro guard, but then need be you need someone to tackle. Hey man, we're here. We're making a Super Bowl run with our guard playing tackle, and that's something that Gray Zabel can definitely do. He can kick it outside and play. But yeah, man, him at the Senior Bowl was so much fun to watch. Like he was manhandling legitimate competition, which you don't get to see when he plays at North Dakota State. It's not Division I. He's not going up against great talent day in and day out. He did at the Senior Bowl, dude, and he did not look like he was out of place. He looked like a Division I full 4-star, 5-star recruit out there. He fit in with the best of them.
Yeah, he looked like he belonged, and absolute machine. And big riser, like you said. I think he could sneak into the first round as well. It would not surprise me if a team at the back end of the first just kind of went for the value pick.
I really look at him like Graham Barton and Cody Munch. I was higher on Burton by a little bit, and that's kind of where I'm at with Gray Zabel. I really liked Burton coming out of, I believe he went to Duke.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cody Munch I was fine on, North Dakota State, but obviously at that point I really wasn't watching much of non-Division I guys. But at this point, you really have to make sure that you're watching North Dakota State linemen. They're producing high-quality NFL talent at the offensive line spot. Pretty much every year there's a guy getting drafted from North Dakota State.
Yeah.
So
I actually watched a little bit of their quarterback for our quarterback episode. Spoiler, he did not make my top 10, but
it happens.
Cam Miller, he had a nice little Shrine Bowl as well. Played a ton. But yeah, that got my kind of eyes on Gray Zabel in-game wise outside the Senior Bowl. I'm going to talk about a defensive player here. This guy, number 1 recruit in the 2022 recruiting class for college. That class contained Travis Hunter, Luther Burden, Mykel Williams, Shamar Stewart, who we talked about last week, Malachi Starks, Will Johnson, Jahad Campbell.
It's a lot of talent.
All these guys that are in this draft class, Kelvin Banks. And that is Walter Nolan, the interior defensive lineman from Ole Miss, formerly of Texas A&M. He transferred out, went to Ole Miss, and this year, he balled out, and he had a good, okay year at his sophomore year in Texas A&M, but like he especially again showed at the Senior Bowl. His first step for a dude that's pushing 300 pounds is incredible, and if he continues to develop that pass rush game, you're looking at an all-pro defensive tackle year in year out. And he's an elite run defender, and that's sort of like what I talked about last week with Shamar Stewart, who is an elite run defender as an edge guy, and if he can develop his pass rush game, you're looking at a menace, and that's what you're getting here with Walter Nolan. I think I'm going to be a lot higher on him than draft pundits. I know he kind of is teetering around first-round territory. I have a top 15 grade on this guy. I think he is
right there with you, dude.
Absolute machine. I think the potential's through the roof.
Yeah, his ceiling is unlimitless. It really is.
Yeah, incredible athlete. He's so twitchy for a dude pushing 300 pounds. Like, and you saw it at Senior Bowl practices. His first step, his initial burst is out of this world.
He seemed to coast off talent and not his true ability for many years, but this year he really seemed like something changed. I don't know what it was. I don't know if the coaches. I'm not linked in on his coaching staff. But it came full circle this year. Like, it was an amazing season, and he really took every opportunity that was handed to him. And he's, in my eyes, he is a top 15, 20 guy in this draft class for sure.
Yeah. Ole Miss, ton of talent on the defensive line there because, Princely Umanmielen, he transferred over from Florida there. He's in this draft. Jared Ivey, nice little edge rusher as well, also in this draft. But it's not like there wasn't talent at Texas A&M. Shamar Stewart, talked about him last week. He was there, plus a plethora of other guys, but his size to speed, it's great. He's got impressive strength, really good athlete, like I said. Big, strong, physical guy, gains leverage, takes on blocks. It's tough to kind of keep him, paused. Like, you get your hands on him, and he's going to move and get around.
Mhm.
He's with his size to speed, he's got great lateral movements. He plays low. He's such a good bull rusher. And like I said, if he continues to develop that pass rush game, gets kind of an in move, makes himself small,
Mhm.
getting there, he's chasing down any quarterback because I can't wait to see what he runs at the combine for a 295 dude.
He's gonna light up the 40, I think, which is gonna be hilarious to watch. He moves way faster than any interior defensive lineman should move for a guy that's 300 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, he's so much fun to watch. His tape is amazing.
Yeah, he's got great hands, but like I said, he's got to develop that pass rush game, and maybe that's the shorter arms causing issue there. But sometimes he does get a little high, and I think that'll develop more once he gets real NFL coaching. He'll start playing lower and lower and develop those pass rush moves. But I think a place like Cincinnati, if they could snag this dude, if he makes it to 17, putting him with Trey Hendrickson, I think there's a ton of teams from like 8 to 20 where Walter Nolen could fit any one of them.
Yeah, there's so many teams in that stretch of picks that just need defensive line help in general. Not just edge, interior. They just need help defensively in the front four. So there's going to be a bunch of edge rushers going off the board from like 6 or 7 to 8 range all the way up to like the mid-20s, dude. And I'm really excited because the defensive line draft class in this class it's stacked, dude. Like through and through. Edge, interior, I love it all. So I'm really excited to see where some of these guys actually start falling on like other people's top 100 boards and like see like first round grades and whatnot. It's the season, dude. We're right around the corner, so all the info is going to be out here soon.
Yeah, but I love Nolen.
Big fan.
I like him and Mike Green are my planting my flag guys in this draft.
I dig it.
I think they're going to be superstars. All right, who's your final?
My final spotlight guy. I was gonna be hilarious with it and just do the rest of the tight end class because we've only done one tight end in a stacked tight end class from guys of Colston Loveland, Harold Flannan, Mason Taylor, Terrence Ferguson, Gunnar Helm, Jackson Halls, Mitchell Evans. But I'm talking about the guy from Miami, baby boy. I'm talking about Elijah Arroyo. Helmer, call me what you want. He's 6'4". He's 6'4" and a half, and he weighed at 250 at the bowl, dude. 250, and he was the second fastest tight end by a smidge on their crazy zebra technology they're running down there at the Senior Bowl. But he weighed in at 250 and an inch and a half taller than Harold Flannan, who is 6'3", 230-some, and he ran as fast as that guy did. He is a genetic freak. Here's the thing. He was hurt all of his college career. He was a 4-star recruit coming out of high school. He was given all of these scholarships by all these blue chip high end programs, and he went to Miami. He's been there since 2021. He's been hurt. This year he put it together. He played 13 games, 35 catches, almost 600 yards, 7 touchdowns. So the stats aren't great, but you can really see his frame and his skill set are going to be perfect for the NFL. He's a mismatch nightmare for any linebacker or safety, especially in the red zone, being 6'4", 250, and he's able to get in and out of cuts super fast. He's going to run crazy fast at the combine. Like I said, he was the second fastest tight end, and he's 250, and his straight line speed is out of this world, dude. I'm really excited to see what he runs at the combine. He's a very natural receiver. He's got crazy soft hands. He's really good after the catch, too. Like, he's quick. He can make guys miss. He's just like a tight end that's going to get in there and he's going to game change everyone. I'm not going to compare him to the guy I'm thinking of. It'd be very disrespectful. But he is a mismatch when he is stepping onto the field. I really think he is, at this point, my tight end 3 in a stacked tight end class. I think he's going to go in the second round, maybe the early third. And instantly, I think he's going to have an impact. He's not going to block. He's not going to go in there. He's not going to stop an edge. He's not going to stop a linebacker. But when you get this guy in the open field, he is a game changer. You can hit him from the middle range, the deep range. He can spread the field. He's such a game changer when it comes to tight ends. I love him in this stacked tight end class. I think he's got a chance to make any NFL team better.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Elijah Arroyo. His athletic profile, side, speed combination, Kyle Pitts.
He's a little bit bigger than Kyle Pitts, isn't he? Did Kyle Pitts weigh in at 250?
247.
Kyle Pitts looks thin.
Yeah.
So that okay.
Yeah. But hey, Kyle Pitts has not lived up to that draft height potential, and maybe that's kind of hurt tight ends a little bit. Not really like Brock Bowers fell to 12.
It's almost the same
and
thing.
Tyler Warren's pretty.
Like Kyle Pitts he didn't have the deepest of route tree. It's way deeper than Arroyo's. Like Arroyo doesn't have a crazy route tree, but the routes he runs are really crisp. They're really clean. Kyle Pitts was a little bit deeper in his bag. But I think with the right coach, the right training, you could obviously add to that route tree and get a deeper bag and start spreading the field more, dude. Like I think he averaged the most yards per catch out of any tight end that had like 30 some catches. It's something crazy like that. But yeah, he's a field stretcher. Obviously, he wasn't super involved in Miami, only having 35 catches, but you got to look at the talent around him, dude. Like
Deep roster.
Exactly. Restrepo, they brought in a new quarterback. We don't know if Cam Ward really likes to use his tight ends like that or whatnot, and they also had a really good run game. It's his first real full season, and for him to have almost 600 yards and 7 touchdowns, you've seen it in high school. You've seen he's a 4-star recruit. You've seen it this year when he was able to stay healthy, and that's the big thing. If he's able to clear medicals at the combine, because everything's redone at the combine, if he clears all of his medicals and nothing's long-term injury, I definitely see him going second round.
Yeah, he's great talent.
So talented, dude.
Would love to see the Dolphins kind of take a shot on him, get bigger. Like I love Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith was incredible this year. For him,
he was amazing.
But him adding size to that Dolphins offense would be great for them, and a good kind of transition guy for Miami. I'm not going to talk about a big guy. My guy's 5'10", 212, normal size running back. But this guy, my man here, has had pretty much 1,200 yards from scrimmage 3 of his 4 college seasons. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about Ohio State running back TreVeyon Henderson. As a freshman, he had 1,248 yards on the ground, averaged 6.8 a clip, 15 rushing touchdowns. Also added 300 yards through the air and another 19 touchdowns as a freshman at Ohio State. That's not a small school. That's a mecca of college football.
Almost the biggest school of them all.
Yep. Sophomore, junior year, he was a little banged up, played 8 games as a sophomore. It still put up 570 yards on the ground. Mm-hmm. And, didn't do much in the receiving game. 600 yards scrimmage, only 7 total touchdowns. So a down year, but as a junior, missing some games, still almost broke 1,000 yards, 926, 11 touchdowns, another 220 on the through the air, 1,100 yards. And then this year, as a split time back with your guy, Quinshon Judkins, 1,016 yards, 10 touchdowns. He averaged 7.1 a clip. Another 284 through the air and another touchdown. So another year with 11 touchdowns. So double-digit touchdowns 3 of his 4 college seasons. Incredibly productive. And I think my favorite thing about him, before I dive into like all the flashy stuff, this dude blocks his freaking ass off. He might be the best blocking back in the draft.
He probably is, yeah.
And that's tough. Like, you watch college tape and you're just like, that guy missed a block. Like, college running backs, they're not willing to block. And a lot of times they're not even put out there to block. Like, that was the biggest gripe with Bucky Irving, was dude couldn't block anything. Mm-hmm. TreVeyon Henderson, nah, you come at him, he's going to try to hit you.
Yeah, he's going to set his
body.
I
love that.
Yeah.
But, and it doesn't almost fit like his play style. Like, if you watch him play, like, that guy can't block, incredible long speed. He breaks his stride, and breakaway speed is incredible. He's got great change of direction. He weaves in and out of blocks and traffic. He's explosive, good balance. He's got a little bit of power, but not too much. He was more the speed guy there. Incredible pass catcher. He's really developed into a really good pass catcher there. And I think this guy in the first round is a thing we should be talking about. I know all the focus is on Ashton Jeanty, understandably so. He's an incredible back, but I think TreVeyon Henderson's right there. Like, imagine this dude with Andy Reid in Kansas City. If they take him at 32 or 31, and the perfect complement to Pacheco. I think he would end up starting over Pacheco. I think Andy Reid would have Shady McCoy eyes with TreVeyon Henderson, not to compare him because Shady Mac was an absolute legend for Philadelphia, but TreVeyon Henderson checks every box you want at a running back, and I think the NFL's going to love him. I think this is a dude who hasn't even gotten near his peak. I think he's just going to continue to get better, and he's going to be a guy who might end up being a way better pro than college player, which is crazy because he's been incredibly productive at Ohio State, and I think we're just touching the surface with what TreVeyon Henderson can do.
The kind of projection he's on right now is very similar to the Jahmyr Gibbs projection very early in his draft, where it was just Bijan, where it's just Janty in this draft. And then all of a sudden, Gibbs is in this draft class. He's really good. Oh, hey, by the way, Gibbs is going to go in the first round. Oh, Gibbs is going to go like top 12. And then all of a sudden, Gibbs went top 12 to Detroit. And that's not out of the possibility here with Hendricks. He's not going to go top 12, but he could fall into the first round at this point. All reports from scouts and NFL teams are they love this dude. He's a 3-down back. He's not going to, you don't have to take him off the field ever. You know what you're going to get out of him. He's super consistent and he's willing to block his ass off, like you said. So for him to be the second running back taken in this draft of a stacked running back draft class, there are 30 guys that are probably in contention of getting drafted. 30 running backs is insane. That's literally almost one per team that might get drafted come the draft. And if you can say that you're a top 5 guy in this draft class, I think both Ohio State guys are almost top 5. For me, it's stacked, dude. And that just shows the kind of talent Ohio State has. If you're able to balance 2 top 5 running backs in this draft class, both guys had really good season. Both guys, I think, are going to be really good pros. I'm super excited to dive in the running back rankings just to see where the differences are. Because like I said, there's so many running backs in this draft class, and a lot of them are very close to like 3rd to 5th round. Yeah. The window's not very far off of any of these guys.
No, and it's a position that's not overly valued in the NFL, so we might see some of these guys falling into the 3rd and 4th round,
even later than that. I think.
Yeah, I think day 2 to rounds 2 and 3, we're going to see a ton of running backs go off the board.
I agree.
And then I think day 3, 4 through 7, I honestly think there could be 30 draftable backs in this class.
I agree.
It's that deep.
Yeah, I was listening to some scouts talk, and they literally have like 30 to 35 draftable running backs in this draft class. So obviously there's not going to be that many drafted because it's not that big of a need, like you said. But I expect a good amount of them to get drafted just based off how talented they are, because they are really good players at the end of the day. And a lot of them are going to make practice squads, 3rd-string running backs, backup running backs in the NFL. And the NFL needs more good running backs, so it's time to stack up on them.
Yeah. I can't wait to see what this class rolls out.
Yes, sir.
For 2025 here. All right. Walter Nolan, defensive lineman, Ole Miss. TreVeyon Henderson, running back, Ohio State for me. And then you bring Elijah Arroyo, tight end from the U, Miami, and the other guy you talked about, Gray Zabel,
there you go.
Offensive lineman from North Dakota State. It feels like an eternity ago that we talked about him. All right. That'll kind of do it for the podcast. We didn't talk about Myles Garrett.
Ooh.
He requested a trade from the Cleveland Browns.
It makes sense.
A little tidbit to end the pod there.
The Browns are in rebuild, and Myles Garrett has already said he's not sitting through another rebuild. So,
do they trade him?
Yes, 100%.
Yes. What would you give up for Myles Garrett?
A first this year, a second next year.
Okay, you give up a little less than me. I'd give up 2 1s.
Makes sense.
I would.
You got a bold prediction where he's going? Washington?
Yeah. Get that pass rush.
I got one for you. It's in the same division, brother. It's Philadelphia.
Oh, fucking gross.
They have a ton of draft capital to just give to the Browns, and it doesn't even matter. Him with Jalen Carter. Oh, baby boy. What are we even talking about, baby? Go
Honestly,
Birds.
Though, Buffalo, the Bills should send the farm. You get Myles Garrett.
Any of these teams,
that might be the piece that gets you to beat Patrick Mahomes.
It's nothing against TJ Watt. TJ Watt is an amazing player. Myles Garrett is by far the best defensive end of football in my eyes. I don't even think it's close. I don't think it's comparable. Myles Garrett is literally in a league of his own. And for any Super Bowl contending team that's on the bridge on that cusp, go out and get Myles Garrett, because it's going to get you over that cusp. It's going to get you where you need to be. Same with Buffalo.
Yeah.
If Buffalo had Myles Garrett, there's a good chance he's getting to Mahomes at least once or twice in that game, and it's going to change the outcome of that game.
Yeah.
That's how it
If
goes.
I'm Buffalo or Washington specifically, I think that's where I think they overachieved this year. Now just build off that. Give that pick 29 up. Give up a first next year. You should be good. And, a third or fourth either this year or the following year and get Myles Garrett. Like, Myles Garrett isn't even 30.
No. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
you got a good 5-6 years of him in his peak.
Yeah.
And then he's only going to get a little bit worse out of there every year, and it's not going to be much worse.
Yeah,
but
future Hall of Famer Myles Garrett, absolute machine. But
easily future Hall of Famer.
Contenders, that's probably where he wants to go.
Get him
You're drafting late already. Just fuck. I'd rather Myles Garrett than try to hit my shot on a guy like Nick Scorton or James Pierce Jr.
100%. I'd rather trade 2 picks on trying to hit on 2 high-end prospects than just get Myles Garrett. You know you're getting out of Myles Garrett. You're getting arguably the best defensive player in football. You know how hard it is to draft that?
Absolutely.
That doesn't happen.
Yeah. He was the number 1 pick for a reason.
Exactly. So Cleveland
that'll now do it.
Yeah, Cleveland needs to do him justice and just get rid of him. He's not worth rotting in Cleveland.
Yeah. That'll now do it for the Drafted Up
Indeed.
podcast. A little Myles Garrett tidbit there because we missed that at the beginning of the show. As always, support our friends over at Dubby and Cafe Colazzo. Use code Drafted Up at checkout for a 10% discount on either product. And then subscribe, follow, rate, review, share, all that good stuff. We're over on Apple or Spotify for your audio guys, on YouTube for your visual people.
We're there.
Or if you just throw it on the TV and grind tape while you listen to us in the background, whatever you want to do. Support the podcast. We appreciate it. Tell a friend, word of mouth. And that'll do it. And then Twitter at @DraftedUp_pod.
Yeah.
We will see you guys next week. We'll know who's Super Bowl champions.
We'll have a world champ.
But more importantly,
mock draft.
Our first mock draft, baby.
Our first mock draft. Football season's over, dude. That's it. We've come this full season.
Football season's never over, brother.
But the actual season is over, and then it's just on to the next one. It just doesn't stop.
Yes, we're got a ton of stuff here. We got, like I said, mock draft next week. We're 2 weeks off, and then Couch Scout stuff comes out. We'll be bringing you our positional rankings, all that good stuff. Order to be determined. I know last year we went pretty much quarterback, running back, receiver down the line, but we might mix it up this year, kind of just who we want to talk about and go from there. We'll see. All right, guys. Thanks as always for listening. Drafted Up Podcast.
Yes,
Adios.
Sir. Adios. Bye-bye.